Very Dark Man believes that the only solution to terrorism in Nigeria is by educating the Northerners. According to him, most of these terrorists are Northerners. They are from the North. And because they are not educated, they are easily brainwashed by the educated elites among them. And these educated elites organize them into terrorist groups, give them guns, arm them, and they go into terrorism for their selfish interests. That if they were educated, the educated elites would not easily brainwash them. And so, as a nation, we do not need help from Donald Trump to end terrorism. That even if he sends help, by the time they leave, these terrorists will spring up again because they live among us. The truth is that educating Northerners is not the solution. That is not the only solution. It has a valid point, but that is not the only solution. All the tribes in Nigeria have illiterates. In fact, all over the world, there are illiterates. Just as the poor would not cease to be among people, illiterates would not cease to be among people, because at the end of the day, not everyone would be educated. At the end of the day, everybody would not be educated. In as much as education helps, at the end of the day, everybody would not be educated. So the best solution is to execute these already existing hardened terrorists. Execute them. Let them cease to live. Let them stop existing. Because there is every tendency that these people will give birth to children and their children would become terrorists. Whether anyone brainwashes them or not, it is in their DNA. So let them stop existing. And by the time a majority of these hardened terrorists has been wiped out, we can now talk about making education a compulsory thing in the North. We can now start from there. But with the way things are at the moment, education is not the only solution. No. How do you convince these people to stop carrying guns? Which jobs are you going to offer them that would give them the kind of money they make from terrorism? Which jobs? Imagine they would kidnap one person and they would be demanding for 50 million naira. Which job in Nigeria would give a Nigerian citizen 2 million naira in 1 week? Which job? Which job would give you 2 million naira in a day? Which job? So these people are now used to handling huge amounts of money. By the time you tell them to drop their guns, it won't be long, they would pick them up again. Because they are now so used to this life of terrorism. It fetches them huge amounts of money. It is a booming business for them. So they won't be able to drop their weapons for a long time. It would be for a while. Because they are now so used to terrorism as their major source of income. So educating them is not the best solution. Let Americans come with their help. And when they've been able to wipe out a majority of this terrorist group, then educating the North can now be a topic. Just imagine the ones who call themselves repentant. The government said they are repentant terrorists and they recruited them into the army. We've seen videos of army officers crying out that these terrorists do not really repent. They don't truly repent. They are just pretenders and they are still working for their masters in the bush. They are still taking orders, instructions from their masters in the bushes. They are like spies among the real army officers who are defending the nation. So it's now looking like the officers are working with their enemies. How do you want them to conquer? That is the reason when they are on their way to attack these terrorists in their hideouts, the terrorists are the first to attack them because information has gotten to them. Information has reached them. So let the Americans come with their help. and execute these ones. And when these hardened ones have been executed, we can now talk about making education a very compulsory thing in the northern part of Nigeria. What do you think about this? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your time.